Hi everyone, it's Nono here. We're gonna get started really soon. If you're connecting live, you can text on the chat. If you're not, you can write on the comments. And if you're watching this offline, there might be timestamps below, so you can see the different sections on when the live stream actually starts and what parts we've covered today. Okay, so I'll be getting started really soon, in a few minutes. All right, let's get started. Hi everyone, it's Nono here, and I want to say Happy New Year. That's the first thing. This is the first live stream of 2022, and I would like to hear from you if you can hear me okay, if you can see me okay, if you're connecting with us live. Today, we're gonna try to go back to the AI sketching platform project. We took a diversion and we're trying to train pixel to style to pixel. I finally managed to control it. It takes a long time to train. I was able to create a data set, and we have a past live stream that explains how, and the answer is that it works. I think, I don't know if it was live 55 or 56, we showed a sneak peek of what I managed to get to do and with this network at the end with a GIF and animation. For those of you who don't know who I am, I'm Nono Martinez Alonso. I do this live stream that has to do with creative coding, machine intelligence, and many other things. And this is just one more week. We try to do it on Thursday nights. I intended to do it a bit earlier today, but usually at 12:30 p.m. EST or 11:30. So from that range, we try to start, and then we go for 1, 2, or 3 hours. Let's keep going. Let's see. Let's start, and we'll do a recap of the topics of the goals. And yeah, I'll explain what I'm going to try to do today. All right. So if I pass, so the first thing that I always say is that if you want to support the work that I'm doing here with the live stream, like this video and make sure to subscribe and click on the bell if you want to get notified when I go live next or when I upload new videos. Thanks to everyone who's already joined the community. I see that, okay, so 1 second. All right. So I see Robb is connected online. So hi, Robb. I see that you're saying that we have 9,000 kbps. Camera focus is great. Thanks for the feedback. I actually spent some time before before starting streaming, setting up the camera and the new light setup and some of these things. And yeah, thanks to everyone who's already joined the community. You can join as well at None of the Masses Discord. I think we're, I don't know, more than 150 people already there. And you also have a QR code up there and a link at the bottom of the page if the short URL doesn't work. What we have there, I mean, a series of channels where we discuss things from machine learning to podcasting to general coding, or really anything that has to do with the creative coding world, or actually we could discuss anything. Topics are not restricted. An announcement. So 2 weeks ago, December 30th, we recorded a podcast episode. So it's called Goodbye 2021. And that's already edited and out on the podcast as well. So if you want to listen to the short version, either on YouTube or on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, you can go to gettingsimple.com/58. And if you want to see the video, just go to the live stream and you have it raw, no edits. You can send questions, as always, to these for this or any previous episodes at gettingsimple.com/ask. I'll love to hear from you. And another announcement, so Andrew Witt, who has been on the podcast before, I happen to have him as a teacher back in Boston, Cambridge, has released a new book, which I started reading yesterday. It's called Formulations. And, I really, really recommend it. I've just read the chapter 1 and I intend to continue tonight, but I've enjoyed it a lot already. If I read the summary, it says it's an investigation. So let's zoom in here. It's an investigation of mathematics as it was drawn, encoded, imagined, and interpreted by architects on the eve of digitization in the mid-20th century. The eve of digitization, everything that came right before everything became what we have today, which is a world full of automations and encapsulated programs and many, many other things. So the news is I'm talking to Andrew, and he's going to tell us about his book on the podcast. So we'll be recording in the next few weeks, and we'll release whenever that's ready. And as I said before in the live stream and on the podcast, we're also going to have Adam Menges and some other people on the podcast really, really soon. Jordan Gray's episode is already edited, so that will be out in the next weeks. All right, so another announcement that has to do with what we've done over this season 2 of the live stream. That's like the second half of 2021. We designed these covers, and these videos, the one on the far right, is already released, and the others will be dropping on the channel every Tuesday, so for the next month. These are shorter versions edited from what we've been doing on the intelligence and sketching work sessions on the live stream, trying to make them more digestible and have reference material for myself and for anyone who wants to watch that in a smoother way. There are a bit of flashes or jumps because we've edited with what we had. We haven't added any new video to it, so there are jumps, but the jumps basically skip the boring parts. And all of them have some chapters. And all right, so the goals. So we want to create an intro machine intelligence course, which is kind of a side goal right now. We're trying to foster the community. We haven't done a community call yet, but I intend to do that. I don't know what we'll use, if we'll use CrowdStream, I think it's called, or just Zoom or other platform, but we need to get to do that. I also mean to connect to some of you that are following the live stream personally, because I think we should engage at other levels as well. And building a collaborative AI sketching platform, the delegating video post-processing, we've been doing a lot of editing, as you can see here, and I'm already working with some people, working myself, and trying to find the time and the structure to do these things. I am happy with these covers. I don't know if they're too messy or not, but I think they're better than what we had before. And okay, I also see Major Mystery Engineering Architecture on the chat. Thanks for popping. Man, you're everywhere. I have to say, you are everywhere. Happy New Year to you as well. And yeah, I actually was talking to Major the other day informally. We need to do some contents together. I know that we've been talking for a long time about that, but let's make it happen in 2022. And yeah, so building a collaborative AI sketching platform. We've talked about many different things that we have here. So the high level goals are here, and we have more detail on some documents that we've created. What I would love to do is to actually get our hands dirty and get back to coding that application, and publish it online with some of the things that we've learned over the past years, and hopefully have it so you can use it, and also so other developers could engage. That's kind of a dream goal, but we'll get there, right? It's not impossible. And some of the things that are mentioned here are collaborative human and bots drawing together, an endless canvas, which we obtain with the Perfect-Freehand app that we're going to take a look at today again, the machine learning suggestions, which could be local, cloud, or hybrid, accessible web app, which is a React front end, and open source and extendable by the community. That's what I just mentioned, an intelligence suggestion protocol for easy development. Yeah, so Major Mystery asks me, I don't know how, or comments, I don't know how you manage time. You're creating awesome quality content and graphics. Same to you. I mean, I appreciate how much content you're pushing through, and how much you're connecting with the architecture and engineering community. I'm trying to go for like a slightly different community, but I think we have a lot of overlaps and intersections, which is great. I saw that you had Young Kyo on the podcast relatively recently as well. So that's great. All right. So Rob Beal wrote on Discord a few comments which I think are super relevant. And he one of the points that he discusses here is whether the okay, and actually let me go and record the cover for today. We can go back to that slide as part of the video, but I want to make sure. So today's goals are taking a look at the AI sketching app. That's the main thing, and the live recap, which we just did. So yeah, and I'm associating this green color to the intelligence and sketching playlist that we're going to be posting there. The intention is to distill all of the fragments that have to do with creating this AI sketching platform, maybe with machine learning models like pixel to cell to pixel, or vectorization, so virtual sketching for vectorization models that we're taking a look at to use in the future in the app, or actually building the app, right? So that is on the YouTube channel. So let me actually go and do something here outside of the slides so you can see. So if you go to the YouTube channel, right? So we're live here. You see that this video was already released. And where are those videos going to be dropping? So they're going to be dropping in this intelligence and sketching playlist, which I updated yesterday. So you can click on view full playlist and you can see that the videos are here, but all of them except for this one are private. So they will be released when they're ready on Tuesdays, as I said. And, I'm going to put, this is the intelligence and sketching playlist. Sorry for the higher case, but and maybe that's some link that I can put also on the Discord. If you want to post it, that's okay as well. Glad that you like the green. I don't know. I'm just trying to make a distinction between different sets of covers that represent different playlists and different topics. All right, so let's do the intro here and then we get started. Hi everyone, it's Nono here, and this is one more session of the Intelligence and Sketching playlist. Okay, let me say that differently actually. Hi everyone, it's Nono here, and this is one more work session of the Intelligence and Sketching playlist, where we're trying to build a collaborative AI sketching platform, an application that you might be able to use online and that other developers hopefully can help us extend. This will contain humans and bots online working and drawing together, getting suggestive drawing or drawing suggestions to augment their drawings in different ways. All right, without further ado, let's get started. And I'll remind you that you can find more videos from this series in the Intelligence and Sketching playlist on my YouTube channel. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do today is review Rob Beal's points. This was commented on the live channel on our Discord community. Just a quick plug here that you can join here in that QR code or None of the Mazda's Discord. And going back to his comments, I highlighted a few things before the live stream. The drawing app is natively vector and ML suggestions. I don't think that the app is going to be natively vector. We're going to try to go for a hybrid, right? We're going to try to make so the input of the user, so things that users draw, are always vector because we have that capability and we can store strokes that way, and we can use the Perfect-Freehand application that we've been seeing in this playlist for a long time. And then we'll have to raster images to make them inputs for certain models. And the thing is that we'll always get raster suggestions for the models that we're using right now. And we have the opportunity of using some of the other models that we've seen to vectorize them and then bring them back as vectorized sketches. So let's say we could have that capability of keeping everything as vector. We also have the potential to study networks like SketchRNN, which are super fast and low or more efficient in computing, so they don't require GPUs and other things that are hard to deploy. You can even use them on the browser, like SketchRNN, and we could use that as well for suggestions or drawing completion. This is something more like you mentioned, below that you had in mind continuator. SketchRNN is actually a continuator network for specific types of drawings, but they had to train with 40,000 drawings per class. That's strokes encoded as vector in a specific format that we actually commented on one of the videos that we're going to release on the intelligence and sketching playlist, or that maybe are already released when you're watching this. All right, how would you attempt to smooth over the user the fact that they drew something that is vector editable, but what was suggested and accepted is not? Well, I mean, you'll see that if it's a texture that you're getting back, like an image of a flower texture or some other texture, that's an issue that we will see in the future. I don't think we should worry about that so much right now, because that's going to be farther down the line. And do creators find it easier to draw a stroke than modify it via control points? I don't know. I mean, it depends. I think the tweaking requires more UI on our end in terms of development. Development is easier to just, if you have a pen on your hand, it's easier to redraw, like maybe click undo and then redraw something and see the input than tweaking the control points. But that, again, is something that we could explore as well. And it's super interesting to me. Okay, so I hope that answers your questions. And now we're going to take a look at the code that we have built already. I have a few links. So I have a few links that we're going to take a look. So I'm going to go ahead and close Keynote. So we save a few resources here and there. And I see that the live stream is healthy, which is great. All right, I'm going to try to do a slower live stream today. So we don't need to rush. If we do less, it's okay. But let's try to do it in a way that it's understandable and that we can all follow along. Or, well, if you want to follow along the coding side, you're going to have to probably watch many other former live streams. All right, so Perfect-Freehand. To give you a bit of background, Perfect-Freehand is the app that we've been looking at for a long time. Quick preview here that you can open in your browser. This line, this is funny. So this line that we have in here, right, is because there is this sort of state in this React application that has some cache, some local store, and it keeps the things that I've drawn before in other sessions. And you can see that that is actually the same image that I use for the cover of these videos that I'm showing, right? So this is that line. I was gonna point with my hand, that line that you can see on this thumbnails. Okay, this is the app. There is a lot of stuff that we can do, but long story short, these are vector strokes. So there is information about their input and output and how they're rendered, right? So we could rasterize this, we could send it online, and we'll have to face some challenges for this, but this is a drawing application. If you go into packages and then go into dev, that's where we'll find the application code that we actually were using on previous live streams. And the video that has already been released explains how to build an app using this framework, the Perfect-Freehand framework, from scratch, right? Build a React application and plug this and be able to do some drawings. All right, so I have more links. So we're gonna close this one. We're gonna open React.js Perfect-Freehand. So this is a pointer to where that application that I mentioned is. And maybe the first thing we could try doing is for making like a recap. So I'm gonna clone this to my desktop. So I'm gonna make this bigger so you can see. So I'm gonna clone that repo. So where am I? I'm here. So git clone. Well, let's actually clone with SSH, so we can, in case we do any modifications, we don't have to authenticate. Okay, so I get in and then I open with Visual Studio Code. If you're curious about the commands that I'm doing on the command line, if you're not familiar, just let me know on the YouTube comments or on the live chat, and I'll be happy to explain. All right, so if we go to folder 0041, we'll find this app that we can see in here, right? So this application. And actually what I'm going to do, I'm going to close this Visual Studio window and I'm going to go with change directory 0041, and we see this React application. So I'm going to enter that React app. What we see here now, if we do list here, is that we have a series of files, the package.json. So let me open this on Visual Studio Code so we can see the code. The package.json file contains the dependencies of this project. So here, right? So we're using, so these types are for TypeScript, and we're using the Perfect-Freehand framework. We're using React, React DOM, React scripts, so TypeScript and Web Vitals. I don't remember what this is for. I think some of these might be from a template that we used. And we'll have to npm install. So we'll do here npm install, or maybe yarn install. And when these packages are fetched, we're going to be able to start the project with yarn start. Hopefully, let me see, it should be, yeah. So this seems to be like an application created with create React app TypeScript. I see a comment, Robb, sounds like we don't need to exclude anything. Experimentation may tell us certain things aren't worth the effort cost. Yeah, exactly. As we go, I mean, we don't have a super set plan on how we want to do what we want to do. We just know that we want to have a web that people can access, and people are going to be able to draw there and get suggestions from other people and other bots. Well, no, they're not bots, right? From bots and other people. All right, so as I said, we're gonna do yarn start. Okay. Code breaks. Same error. Okay, let me see. So I'm removing the entire directory and starting over with the npm install instead of yarn install, just to make sure that that's not the issue. We might have to do npm update to update broken packages or something like that. I'm not sure. So also, to speed up a bit the project, I think I'm gonna have to do some things offline and then explain them on the live stream, like or maybe do other live stream extensions on the weekends or other days of the week, just so we progress at a faster pace and not probably focus more on this React application, so we don't do as many catch-ups, right, as we're doing. So just continue with the same thing, because it's been a month and a half since we last tried this app. So Okay, error package path not defined. Okay, let me do npm update while I look for this error. All right. I updated my node to a really like a new version 17. So let's take a look at the latest stable version. Hmm. Fourteen. Okay, so if you got the same error, we seem to have avoided it by running npm update. So maybe I just upload those changes with package log. I'm using node version 17 and npm 8, I think. Okay, so that's good. We've got past our error, and this is great because this is our, this is the application that we built, and we have a video on the matter. But as you can see, it's just like, well, not just, there's a lot here. We have strokes, and this is what we intend to use as a base for our collaborative app application. And one thing that I think we could do today is that we could put some of these applications online. So we could put them so you can use them from your computer, just accessing a URL. This is really similar to what you can get with the Perfect-Freehand application that is online. But what's good is that we will see the process to deploy the application and have a React repo that is on the server and can be accessed through a URL. So and I cannot put the dot. All right. So step one, the application worked. We have it running here. Get stroke points is defined but never used. Get stroke outline points is defined but never used. So let's take a look at the source really quickly to see where those warnings are. So that's app.tsx line 21. Okay, yeah, so we're importing things here that we're actually not using. Get stroke points, get stroke outline points, get stroke. I'm gonna leave this as it was, just gonna update this because that way it works at least with the Node version that I have. So I'm gonna, let's use the interface here. So I press Ctrl-Shift-G, I can see the source control of, let's revert, so discard the changes in lock, basically discard these changes, and let's just commit these ones here, package.json. We can say here npm update on here. All right, and we sync the changes. So that should be now. Here you see that package lock was not defined. Okay, package lock is defined now. So that means that if we clone now, it will install the same packages and we would be in good shape. But we haven't updated anything here, so I don't know. Okay, we have this app working and the anatomy, right? Like to see how this application is, we can go to the intelligence and sketching playlist. There are going to be videos there that walk you through building all of this. What we can see here is that we have an app, right? So this is using strict mode, which I don't know if we're going to use necessarily, but we're just importing the index.css file that provides with some style. But probably we don't even need this, right? Because this is, we're not rendering anything here. Not really, right? We can remove that. And logo, we don't need the logo. I didn't even look here to remove things from the base app when we created it. Could not find a required file. Okay, I deleted this file. Didn't mean to. All right. So this should now work, just to make sure that the styles file is not necessary. Remove this. Right. And for those of you who connect online, feel free to say hi on the chat. I don't bite. Or to add comments if you're watching this offline. All right, so this app is working without this file, and we could take a look at removing the logo, setup tests. There are some things here that came sort of for free on the application, but I'm removing just because it might be confusing for people who take a look at this later. So just remove these two files, remove logo and left index but empty. So same message but clean up. All right, so we're gonna sync the changes. Okay, so now we have that as a cleanup, have an empty file. All right, so that is the first part, which is taking a look at that we have the basic code that allows us to draw with the Perfect-Freehand library, and we don't, I don't know, we might have other things to do here, like storing state and such, but we're not going to do it in here. We'll probably come back to this code and reuse it as our first proof of concept for the application. So now we're going to go outside. I had more links, but we can browse directly of this esbuild React ES v2 47, so that's live stream 47. And we can see that live stream 47. Let's mute myself. Okay, I look sleepy. This was in the morning probably. And this is what I was mentioning before. We do have detailed chapters here, and this was actually a video part of the intelligence and sketching playlist, probably one that will be released in the near future. And we can see that here with the record a tutorial for React State with RKO. So this is we did a hands-on implementation to add state. So in here I think we were adding undo and redo and some text state that allowed us to change the title up here and then go back and forth. So I'm talking about these items. You can see them probably really small here. Let me see if I can. Yeah, so these items here. And after that, we took a look at keyboard shortcuts with hotkeys. So that is the second part, which is being able to do Command Control C. Let's actually zoom into here. Let me move myself to the right if it's a bit less awkward. I'm not talking over myself. So this is basically an effect, I think they were called, or no, it's a hook that lets us. Let me remove the captions. Yeah, so it's a hook that allows us to do something like this, right? Like up and do in Command C or Control C and redo on Command Shift Z or some other command. So these are two things that we're going to be using. So adding key shortcuts or commands to your application. Well, key shortcuts are not the same. Key shortcuts are shortcuts that, or keystrokes that actually execute commands. And then the state of your application with RKO lets you create commands that can be used globally on the entire application, and is super helpful to save state and to also execute commands. Okay, so I hope this was a good overview on what we're gonna see now. Let me bring here the folder for the code of live 46, and we can actually, so 47, we can actually take a look at esbuild React and open the code here. Just open it here. You can see that we have the add React hotkeys hook and some other things. Okay. Okay, and we can actually open that app that I was showing before, execute it here. So let's go to the packages. Let's close the need terminal here. And from here, we've covered everything on this document that I had. Maybe in here we could take a look at some of these things, but we'll review this in the future. Okay, so I can close Notion, and in here we can do, we don't have some nodes, so let's try with npm install first. So npm install, and then we'll do npm start when that's ready, and we can put that to see it here bigger. Who was using port 5000? Okay. Okay, so this is the application that I was mentioning before. So I can make this big and put this by its side. So let's redo that. So if we execute this command, oh, not that one, npm start, then we get this running, right? Right now I need to update the port, but this is like a hello world React application. And what you can see here, so if I take off, and this is just a recap because otherwise nothing of what I'm gonna do in the next live streams is gonna make sense. We have the entry point here, which is similar to what we saw before without the react.strict. We have the app, which has some behavior on what it has to render, has these pictures, right? There is a picture item, so if I remove one of them, it disappears from there. I can also get it back and make clones of it, right? So we have a scrolling page. And if I leave it as it was, we have these four items. If I go to the, you can see here that we're importing state, right? We import app and use app state. This is a hook, and this is the app class. For the state, we have the shortcuts, as I mentioned before, and the hotkeys for another way in which we showed that. So if we take a look quickly, right? So we have this set text. Where is set text? Text. All right, so this is a hook that we're setting, but what and maybe let's go here. So this here is getting the state, and this is getting, so from this hook we get app state, which allows us to get the text, which is the state that we have here. And from the app we deconstruct it and we get set text, which is a method or a hook that allows us to set a value on state for what you're seeing on screen, right? For the we're coding live text. We'll see the hotkeys later, but if we go to the state class, we have the initial state, which is we're coding live. We could say boom or something, right? So that changes. And we have this concept of setText, which is a command. Right? We could have undo or redo. That would be a different thing. But setText actually, well, undo and redo are part of the RKO library, which is here, the state manager. So we use that in order to, right, like extend our state and be able to apply the before and after. So in setText, we just get the state, and on the after method, we just update the state with the new state, right? So we say app state is text, and we could do other updates if the state was more complex. That's simply a text property, which is a string. And on before, we actually save the current state. So you can go back and forth, right? So every time that you go back and forth, you'll be able to swap between those. And this is the initial string for that value. And if you provide a name for your application or your app state, it will persist throughout sessions. What does that mean? So that means that if I were to execute this hotkey, so Command Shift B to set this text on the application. So I'm gonna go in here and I'm gonna press Command Shift and B, right? Which happens to also unlock my bookmarks here, but it sets this on the application. If I refresh, you see that it reads it. So there's some time where you can see the old one, and there, but it gets back to where it was, right? So it gets to persist, let's say, that state. If we were to set another name here on text app, so it's text app 1, then it goes back to a different, it's kind of like a parallel universe, right? Where there is a different string. So we could say here, app 1, let's say, right? So we run the same command. So we've set it to app 1, and we're gonna leave that here with ABC, right? So that's not there. we see that this text app1 has the cached value or store, local store with app1. But if I reset this to our application, which is what we had before, we had the local store for text app. And if I go back to text app1, we go back to the cache of that other application. So we can have multiple applications named with different things, with different persistence states. And if I do text app2, then we're back to an app that doesn't have any cache, any store, right? So we have this here, and there is no undo, redo at the moment. But what happens when you click these images, right? And now I'm gonna go to the other side. When you click on these images, what we do is that we change this text here, right? So I'm changing text in here, and now I have this undo button. So what we're doing is every time we save, we store the previous state, and then we set the new one and store it. So I can go and click undo and go back until the beginning, and then I click redo and then go back till the end, right? So if I leave this one and refresh, that cache for undo and redo disappears, but I get the state, right? The current text state. And if I click here, right? So we can do this thing here. I can also do, and I can maybe put it here. So I do Command Z, right? And then I'm changing the thing, and with Command Shift Z I go to the front. So I'm undoing and then now redoing, and I can hold and press, and that's that thing. So this is responding to commands and things, and the easiest way for React hotkeys is a library. You can import this hook, use hotkeys. So you can simply make a copy of this in here, and we could change. So let's say Shift U does something. It doesn't do anything. So Command Shift U, for instance, right? So I'm gonna make an alert here with this text. Right, so I do that, and I do Command Shift U, and then we get recording live 57. Right, so we've added a keystroke to our application that easily. But then there is this use keyboard shortcuts. This is a hook that we've done from our hooks in our application. You can see them under source hooks, use keyboard shortcuts, and you have all the commands wrapped here. So this is basically a hook that calls hooks, and that's just to have them in one place where we define our application behavior. And this was just to depict that you can do it both ways, but we could get this in here, put it as one more command in there, and run it. But to set the text, actually would have to import the app to deconstruct set text from the app. So I'm gonna do it with, let me see. Okay, yeah, so that works. And we can try it with Command Shift O, ASD. Okay, so that works. I'm gonna undo everything because we don't need to leave this any different right now. But I hope that this was a good overview if you're trying to, get to understand what we're gonna do in the next weeks. This is a good catch up. I did a recap on what we have in these two applications, which you can use by just going to the, so this is at github.com/nonoesp/live. And yeah, so that's basically what we have. So the technology stack that we have and that we can use. Okay, so now that we have this done, what next? Let's set the, not drawing board, but like the writing board, and set a few next steps of what we have to do now. Okay, so let's take a look. What are our next AI sketching platform steps? Okay, so now we have to define what to do next. We have one piece of code that is a React application that implements the minimal interface to have perfect freehand working to draw with vector and thinning and smoothing and many other filters. And on the other side, we have an application that uses create serve. What was it? Let me take a look in here. And on the other side, we have an application that is using esbuild to build and refresh application quickly, create serve to serve and like reserve every time that anything changes really fast. And we're using React Hotkeys hook for our keystrokes to run commands on the application. And we're using React RKO, also provided from Steve Reed. Okay, for maintaining undo, like an undo and redo stack and maintain our state in our application. So this is plenty. I think it's a lot that we have. So we would have to merge these two things, right? So we need to merge the Perfect Freehand app, merge the Perfect Freehand and React esbuild create serve RKO hotkeys apps. So that's our first step that we can do. Another thing that we can do in parallel is serve the React app online for anyone to access. And we can come up with a domain name. It's going to be right now a subdomain of nono.ma, I think. I don't know, maybe draw.nono.ma or something like that. Any thoughts from the community, right? Rob, if you're there online, or anyone else who's online and maybe even on the comments or on the Discord server, we need a domain. Decide on subdomain, which we could, it could be this one. And what else? We can make this even bigger. Don't like that. All right, I'm going to take a quick break and we'll be back. So we're going to continue listing these things. We might get to do some of these things after the break. Let me bring here a break slide and then we'll come back. Okay, I'm back from the break and we're gonna keep going. I see a comment from Rob on the chat. So thanks for being there online because I forgot about it. So right now, the application, so the publication that I have for this project is at nono.mas/AI, but also at nono.mas/suggestive drawing. When I did this project and titled it Suggestive Drawing, I actually bought as well the suggestivedrawing.com domain. So that was reserved actually for this application because it's intended to, it's intended to basically have that accessibility for anyone to be able to access it. So we might be able to use this. We might test with this as well, but we'll leave them here. So as ideas. And we'll see. So here are the next steps. DigitalOcean. Here are the next steps, and we'll continue on the next live stream. I think it might be next week. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do anything related to this before next Thursday, but I'm super glad that you're there, that you're watching, and that you're collaborating. If you have any thoughts on everything that we did today, please post it on the Discord server. Let's open it right now. And let me post some of these things before we go, that I'm really bad at this and I usually never do it. So we have here, so this is live 57. Let's do links for live. So links for live 57. And for those of you who don't know, this is Discord. So this is the community. There are many channels here. And we're going to put here. All right. And for links, let's put formulations, Andrew Witt. Formulations book by Andrew Witt. And here a link to who Andrew Witt is. And video looks super fluid on my end, so we don't have a dropped byte here, so I'm happy to see that for now. So I guess it might be your connection. Hopefully it's not the live stream. All right, so the other things that we looked at that we can link from here are these things. So this is with you can just copy and paste this. Can the Goodbye podcast. All right, so that is it for this here. So we have the links for this live stream. And okay, and I'm gonna record an outro for this video. All right. Maybe we do another intro because I'm not sure that the intro that we did before represents what we actually ended up doing. Oh, not here. Hi everyone, it's Nono here, and this is a working session, part of the intelligence and sketching playlists. We have a long-running playlist with many other videos, and today we're going to do a catch-up on previous videos that we've done to create an application for a vector drawing with thinning, smoothing, and many other features with a library called Perfect-Freehand. So a recap to see how to download that, how to get it running on your machine, and how to use it. And another application that we built that has technologies called esbuild to build the application, create serve to server, and have live reloading, RKO for state management, and a React package for hotkey management. Basically, you can add hotkeys or keystrokes to your application to execute commands. The Intelligence and Sketching playlist is a playlist in which we're building sketching AI. The Intelligence and Sketching playlist is, in this playlist, we're building an AI sketching collaborative platform that is going to be posted online. So you're going to be able to access it through the web, and you're going to be able to collaborate drawing with other people and also with bots that use machine learning to provide you with suggestions. Without further ado, let's get started. All right, and now comes the outro, which is a bit weird, but we're going to do that. All right, so I hope that you enjoyed this overview or recap into these two different technologies, Perfect-Freehand and React boilerplate application. In a future video, we're going to merge the two into one, and we're going to try to publish that online with a custom domain that you can access to interact with the application. In the future, we'll try to create a protocol where people can expose behaviors to provide suggestions to drawings or alterations, and might then be deterministic algorithms or machine learning based or non-deterministic algorithms. Thanks a lot for watching. We'll see you next time. Okay. Now an actual outro. If you want to support the channel and the content that I'm creating, go ahead and like the video and subscribe if you're going to get notified when I go live next or when I upload new videos. You can join us in the community at Discord, and you can join in the URL nono.masas Discord or using that QR code up there. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time. All right. I think that's it. Check. I bought this thing that is actually 2 minutes behind, but it's a timer that lets me see that we've been live streaming for, what is it, 15 minutes, 1 hour, and right now is 1 hour and 18 minutes. It should be on the video, right? So this marker should go in sync with the actual timestamp. 2 minutes behind because I forgot to set it up on time. But the idea is that, you know, I can set this to 0, and let me see if we can make this a bit bigger. All right. Let me see. I'm seeing a preview here. So does this zoom in? So focus. All right. So the idea is that this timer or the features of this timer, it lets me stop it, make it keep going. I can set it to 0, and then we have the option to set it on again, right? So this would go up to 59:59, so 99 minutes 59 seconds, and then we'll shut off. Or I can stop it. I can set it like this, and then I can set a timer basically for a countdown. We can, it will just go down to 0 and then stop. When it ends, it has a thing here on the side that basically lets you set an alarm, mute half volume or high, and yeah, we can stop it as well and set it to 0. So I could set maybe a countdown for 5 seconds, and then yeah, I guess it says like a countdown. And just to show all the features, if you switch it off and set it to echo mode, right, which is in there on the side, like lowering this thing, it goes into echo mode. But I think it needs to switch off before, so we can set it to 0. It goes in echo mode, but if I click, I don't know, maybe, okay, so now it's switched off, so I can click, and I guess after a few seconds, yeah, okay, so that's echo mode. The light is dimmed, and that way you use less batteries. All right, so let's set this off. I won't leave it on echo mode, and I'm gonna leave it here. If you're interested, I can put the link. It's on Amazon. It's a fairly cheap device. Okay. So how was this live stream? We didn't do anything. We've just been reviewing old code, but I guess that's what we needed to do, to recap, because everything that we've done before has been on the past 5 or 6 live streams, apart from the podcast, has been training pixel to style to pixel. So yeah, that wasn't productive in terms of the application. Let's close. If we haven't done anything here, we can probably remove this folder. Yeah, we didn't change anything. All right. Yeah, I'm glad that you like the plan, Rob. I think this is gonna get to be a really nice thing, and we're gonna be able to use it online. So thanks a lot for everyone who's watching. Join us on the community, throw some comments in there, and we'll be really glad to meet you and to hear your suggestions, your creative suggestions, hopefully to help us move forward in this project. Bye. And, don't be a stranger. Hit me up on Twitter, on Discord. Maybe submit a question to the podcast at gettingsimple.com/ask or anything. One last thing, if you're watching up to this point, you can make me a favor, which is I'm going to have an interview with Andrew Witt. And I showed before that he released yesterday his formulations book, or 2 days ago. Today's January 13th. So the book was released January 11th, 2022. Go to gettingsimple.com/ask and let me know of anything that comes to your mind that we could ask Andrew on the interview when I talk to him about his book.